everybody, welcome back to another video. This is a first impressions on the de Havilland Vampire Fb5, which is a 7.3 of rank 5, very beginner jet fighter for the British Air Force, and I haven't flown it that often since I got it, so it's pretty much stock. Stat card is here for anyone who wants to see. It has a top speed of about 700 and a little over 790 kilometers per hour at altitude. It is rank 5, as I said, 7.3 BR, armed with 4 Hispano cannons with 600 rounds. So, yeah, so what we'll be talking about in this thing is my thoughts, flight characteristics, things like that, things you should be aware of when deciding to fly this. And the other aircraft I'll be referring to a lot during this video will happen to be the Me-262 A1A1 or A1A fighter of the German Air Force, which I'll actually be fighting quite a few this match, along with the Rados, but they're not really a fighter, so I'm going to leave them out of this. The climb, for being stock, the climb is okay, I'd say. I mean, it's not anything spectacular. In my opinion, it almost feels a little more like basically like a fast prop, like per se, like, I don't know, your P-51H or your D-13 or your, high tier Griffin Spitfires or things like that that have some maneuverability are still fast enough to easily catch this thing. If you're at low altitude in this thing and at slow speed, you're dead. This aircraft must stay at high speeds, otherwise everything will walk over it, because everything pretty much can walk over it. Like your F-80s, your 262s, all of those are much, much faster than you and can boom and zoom you to death. The only way you tend to kill things is when somebody makes a mistake and they end up turning into you, basically. Because the Hispanos hit hard. That is one thing I do like about this aircraft, which I will get to a little later when I start talking about weaponry, is how well these things actually do stock. So, but yeah, as I was saying, the feeling of flying this is like flying a very high tier prop almost. It doesn't really feel like a jet. It climbs okay, but not spectacularly. It turns smartly, which is one thing this thing is known for, along with the Venom, are probably next to Flying Dorito, probably one of the most maneuverable aircraft of the jet family, at least at 7.0 to about 8.3, because this is 7.3, so obviously it can reach up to 8.3, which has those late C variant 262s. I just start climbing, as you can see, it loses speed very quickly. It's not like, well, it's obviously not like a Phantom or a T2 or a MiG-21 where it can just blast up there. It kind of stalls out, as I said, and just the way it looks and feels, again, reminds me a lot of the prop. Now comparing this thing to a 262, I do prefer a maneuvering battle. However, you do have to be careful because obviously slow speed will get you killed. But the thing does maneuver pretty well at slow speed, so if you can get into a maneuvering fight with a 262 or a Horton or an Arado 234, if God forbid, and you get him at slow speed, those things turn like rocks. I mean, even American stuff. You have to face American stuff like the F-80 or P-80, whatever it is. They start becoming flying bricks, where this thing, like a prop, is able to, almost like a Spitfire, is able to keep turning. So I take some shots at Mr. Dorito Boy there. And as you can see, he's turning around, and I'm already coming in and on around on him. So it's very maneuverable. This pilot slot, though, unfortunately, is not one of my max. I have 3 of them. This is in the 4th, which is not a max slot, so my G tolerance is not that good, so I end up blacking out here. But as you can see, it has no shortage of maneuverability, and it retains its energy okay. Again, flying it is like flying a Spitfire. The 262, on the other hand, kind of still follows the German tactics of boom and zoom. I mean, it's maneuverable too, but it's not, I wouldn't suggest doing a turn and fight in that. But yeah, I do like it. And as you saw there, my bait worked phenomenally. The team was working well together and ended up getting a kill for him. I didn't get an assist because obviously I didn't get a hit, but no matter. We've got a 262 high who I highlight for myself because obviously I'm not going to sit there staring at him. Um, I didn't know where he was going. I could obviously see he was coming towards me. This obviously is not a good position, as I mentioned earlier, to be in with this plane. Slowing at low altitude. And the acceleration is not real good. Well, none of the early jets are that good. But this thing is, it seems especially slow on the start, so, which is kind of nice. I'm kind of happy I got a map with an air spawn just so I can kind of start off a little higher and get up to some altitude, because it isn't the best. 262 gets killed by the auto squad mate. We are not flying as a squad. He's just auto in my squad. And you're about to see why I like the weaponry on this thing compared to the 262. 262, we all know, is armed with 430 mils. This thing is armed with 420 mil Hispanos with more ammunition, almost double the ammunition. This thing has 600 versus 320, I believe it is. So take some pot shots, don't get a hit. As you can see, easily keep tabs on this guy. My gun sight, which I have green for night battles, is not working real well against the trees, making it difficult. But I end up getting a very good long-range pilot snipe here, which those are stock 20 mils, stock hit 20 mil Hispanos that are stock. And we all know how bad those are. Just try flying the Spitfire 2B or whatever that thing is. It is awful. It's like shotgun shells that go wherever they want, that you might as well be shooting birdshot at these planes. Like, they don't do anything, except those seem to have killed, quite effectively, quite quickly, actually. I mean, I did kind of spray and pray, as I said, because I couldn't really see. I should probably change my enemy marker in my gun sight, but I do like the green. Here's a little side tip that doesn't really revolve around this aircraft in my review, but if you want a really good night sight, use black, like green, not black. Use the green. This green, for some reason at night, the green just illuminates very well against the blackish blue color. Red's another one, but that's a little harder on the eyes. I prefer the green. So yes, I'm now just going to kind of summarize this aircraft. It's a 7.3 again, rank 5. You're about to see what you can actually make in one battle. This thing does not have a talisman. This thing has nothing. It is pretty much stock. I've got probably a little bit into the cannon upgrade, the new 20 mil belts or whatever, but the cannons are stock, the engine stock, airframe stock, talisman, none of that. Has none of that. I am using premium account though, and this is, a jet battle. So you're about to see how much money you can make from this, but I don't think I'm going to be flying it as a moneymaker. I might spade it sometime and then do another video with final impressions, but I don't know yet. So, yeah, here's just the landing. Landing's not that difficult. The thing's already pretty slow. I wouldn't suggest dropping your gear over 300 kilometers per hour, so I just kind of wait. It's got some pretty decent air brakes, but in most engagements you probably shouldn't use them because you're already going to be flying slower than most things that will come after you. I remember before this thing had some really, really bad times against MiG-15s and MiG-17s. It just was not fair. So, yeah, without further ado, the video will be ended now. So, on to the results, I guess. On to the results now. So yes, got 9th place for the team with 1 kill, couple of hits, and ended up making 8,000 vehicle research. and like 7,000 mod research. It's insane. And as I said, no talisman, just premium account. So I ended up finishing research on my belts, which will end up costing me about 11,000 silver lions. But yeah, it wasn't that good of a match, but it seemed to be good. So I'm going to start researching engine mods just so I can get a little more speed out of this thing. It's a little slow right now, as I said. So yeah, but that was the review of the de Havilland vampire, which is predecessor to the Venom, and uh, it's a kind of a pre-training jet for all you British enthusiasts out there who want the Hunter and the FGR. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe. I have made it to 80 subscribers now, which is awesome. So yeah, that is about it for today, and hope you guys have enjoyed last video, the premium review guide, what to buy, what not to buy. And the next video is just probably going to be a short, probably 3-minute video explaining the competition once I reach 100 subscribers. So stay tuned for that. As always, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends, family. I don't care. If you don't want to do any of that, that's good too. But I'll see you in the next video. This has been the Red Baron, and I'm out.